Hello, my name's Kyle Rogers. I'm on the ECA board and I'm trying to show you how to set up the PA equipment for a meeting. Essentially, you're going to have 5 pieces of equipment that have different numbers of sub-equipment in them, and we're going to go through them one by one. First of all, there's a bag of wires in this Methodist bag, and most of the stuff is in here. You got the wireless microphone box, which is this, and I'll show you how to set that up. You have the microphone stand here. You have the speaker stand in this bag, and then you have the speaker and mixing board all in one in this thing. So we're going to go through that one by one, and then by the end you should be able to set it up by yourself. All right. Okay, so pretty much wrapped filming of this project, but I'm probably going to put this at the beginning of the video. Essentially, everything is pretty common sense. You need power for this. You need power for the wireless microphones. And then you have inputs and outputs for the audio. The output would be the speaker. The input is the microphone or the laptop or the wireless mic or perhaps the Bluetooth. We'll get all into that later down in the video, but when you're putting these things together, you know, they go together. They, you know, make sure you put them away the way you took them out, and make sure you don't step on the wires and lose anything. This equipment here is pretty expensive. Like, I think it costs the Civic Club up to like $1,100. So with that in mind, if you respect the equipment, it'll respect you. Just keep it in good order, and hopefully this video is informative and you learn how to use the equipment. Thank you. So we're going to start with the speaker stands. It comes in this Proline bag. It should be pretty obvious to open. You just unzip it, open it toward yourself, and one thing you'll notice is that they have these Velcro straps inside the bag and a little section for each stand. There's 2 stands in here. The legs of the stand go to where the Velcro straps are. So I don't know if you can see this, but there's a Velcro strap for each leg, and each one has 3 straps. Once you get those undone, you're going to remove the speaker stand, and each stand is going to have 2 knobs here. It's important that when you're loosening the knobs, you don't over loose them. You just make them hand loose, because on each of these there's a nut on the back side, and we have lost 1 or 2 of these nuts before, and you don't want to do that. There's a bag of extra nuts in case you do in the Proline bag, but you don't want to make that mistake. So other than that, the setup is pretty easy. You just hand loosen these. This one extends it to make it taller. Once you find your height that you like, you tighten the knob, put the little metal peg in the holes here to act as a backup. Same thing happens for this side. This extends, the base widens, and you're pretty much done. You just need to tighten the knob. And that's pretty simple. Turn it up, right side up, and you're done. Okay, the next thing that we're going to deal with is the speakers and the mixing board. The speaker and mixing board comes in a unit of 2 speakers and the mixing board right here in the middle. If you can see on the top, it comes with a handle right here. And these 2 buttons are how you get the speakers off. They're simply a pivot and snap button here. So I'm going to take one off and show you how to do it. Press the button down and remove the speaker. You do the same thing for the other side. So these are the 2 speakers. We're going to deal with those a little later. And we're going to look at the mixing board. This is the back of the mixing board. The things that you'll notice is that there's not a lot of stuff going on here, but this opens up, and if you want to, you can put a microphone in there. We have the microphone in the Methodist cord bag, but if you want to, you can put it in there. Another thing that's on the back is the power plug down here, and it has a switch. So the 0 means off and the 1 means on. So once you get the power plug in there, that's how you turn it on. The other two things here on the back of the speaker of the mixing board are the speaker cable hookups. So this is the main speaker cable hookup. This is what you want to put these speaker holes into. You're going to put a speaker cable in here, here, and you're going to put a speaker cable in here. And one's going to go to one and the other the other. So those are the main things on the back. The front of the board is a little more complicated. We'll get to that in a minute. One last thing on the speakers. When you put them on the speaker stand, it's the same thing here. A little nut that you don't want to loosen too much. Can you see that in the camera? And then we'll show you how to do that when we put it all together. The next thing we're going to do is hook up the speaker to the speaker stand. It's pretty simple. Speaker weighs about 10 pounds. It's got this hole at the bottom and the nut that I referred to earlier. Simply going to put this hole right on the speaker stand. Then tighten the nut so it doesn't move around. Once you do that, you can raise and lower this section of the pipe of the stand, as well as the base of the feet. And this thing gets up to be about 6 feet tall. Okay, the next thing is all the cords in the Methodist bag, which holds all the cords. We have two separate power cables. You only need one, but it came with two for some reason. There's a 9-foot one, and then there's a 6-foot one. So these effectively do the same thing. They power this unit. They go into that plug. So, power cables. They look like this, and then the other end just a regular AC plug. Put that in there. We have a bunch of different speaker cables. We have a 25-foot, what I like to call is a quality speaker cable. We have two short 10-foot cables, which are quality 10-foot cables. And then the unit came with these two 15-foot speaker cables. But as you can tell, I'm not sure if you can, but the speaker, the wire is much thinner. I would call these crappy speaker cables. So we kind of have a lot of speaker cables. I wouldn't really bother with these 15-foot ones because they're not very good. You really only need two to plug in to the back of the speaker like this, and then in the back of the mixing board like this. Is that in the video? Okay. Next, you have the XLR cable, also known as the mic cable. It looks like this. We'll plug that in the front of the speaker when we get to that part. We have a 10-foot auxiliary cable. So this is what you're going to plug into your laptop if you're running a presentation that requires audio. We have a mic stand for a desk here. We have a wired mic in this bag. Comes inside of this bubble wrap. Looks like this. Plugs into this wire. Pretty simple. Like that. Has an on and off switch here. Pretty simple stuff. It also comes, we purchased these microphone covers. Just put them on. Helps make the audio a little bit better. Like that. Inside the microphone bag, there's these two microphone clips. This one also, it comes off of the speaker stand, or excuse me, the mic stand here. So 3 different ways to hook up a microphone. Lastly, there's some pliers, some twisty ties, and a little post-it note that has all the equipment written down. So that's all that's in the bag. We'll cover about how to hook it all up in a minute. Okay, now we're going to talk about the microphones and the mic stands. We have 2 mic stands. We have a stand-up mic stand and we have a desk mic stand. They're both adjustable. This The stand-up one has this heavy base, and you can unscrew it from there if you need to, perhaps to use as a boom mic someday. Not sure why you would need to, but it does come off of the base. You can also adjust it for height using this handle up here. All you have to do is press the button, pull it in, pull it out, and adjust the height. The height of the desk stand can also be adjusted. You just have to loosen this thing. Doesn't make much of a difference, but it does go up and down. Put this away just like that. Pretty simple. Then there's the microphones. There's the wired mic, which has the plug at the bottom and the switch here. And there's the wired mic, which is much thicker at the base because it requires batteries to go in there. The wired mic comes with this foam thing. The microphone is very sensitive, so you need to protect it with the foam and the bubble wrap. This has its own case, which I'll show you in a minute. And we have 3 clips, microphone clips, 2 circular ones that look like this, and 1 actual clip that does that. The round ones will fit the wired mic like this. This one's pretty tight. This one's pretty loose, but it goes all the way up to the top. And then, unfortunately, the wireless mic will only fit this clippy one, like that. So, all 3 of these things have have the wider openings at the bottom. Those go on the stand-up microphone. They all can be screwed into that. If you want to, you can use this metal socket gadget here, widget, adjuster, which will go onto the desk mic stand, just like that. And then this goes into there, and then you can use it on the desk mic stand. It's up to you. And that's what the pliers are for, is so if this little piece gets stuck in there, you can unscrew it. That's why we have the pliers. Lastly, we have a couple of these things to protect the microphone thing for better audio. Next, I'll show you how to set up the wireless mics. Okay, so finally we've got to the actual setup of the PA system. We have the mixing board here, and we're just going to use 1 speaker. Of course, we would set up both, but we're just going to use 1 for now. So we have the power cable. We're going to use that and plug it directly into an outlet. So now we have power. We're going to take this end and plug it into the back of the mixing board here. Right now the switch is off, so there's no power coming through. I'm going to turn it on. So now there's power to the unit. We see the power light is on right there. We'll be using that as the volume here in a minute. We're going to use this speaker cable. You're going to hook it up to the back of this speaker like this. And we're going to put the other end in the back of the mixing board here. So now we have power to the mixing board, and the speaker is connected to the mixing board. So right now it could play music if you wanted it to. You just don't have any input. So there's output and there's power on, but there's no audio input at the moment. We're going to fix that by hooking up the microphone. We're going to take the XLR, also known as the microphone cord, connect that to the microphone. We're going to use the other end, and we're going to plug that into this row of inputs. So all 3 of these are different channels. This has up to 8 channels. 1 channel, 2 channel, channel 3, channel 4. This is a dual right and left channel, so 5 and 6. And this is the same, 7 and 8 dual channels for different types of plugins. Right now we're going to plug in the microphone. We're just going to go to channel 1, plug that right into there. We're going to turn this microphone on, and now you can hear that the microphone is hooked up. You can turn the reverb on. That's this button here, and you can do it for each channel. You can turn the bass up. You can turn the treble up. And that's just the mixing board, the way the mixing board works. This is the master volume, so if you turn this all the way up, it's going to get really loud. That's for the whole unit. If you just want this channel to be quieter, you can turn it down right here. This is the volume for one channel. This is the volume for everything, and this is the volume for one channel. So you could have two microphones here and turn them both down with this. Or you could have one microphone really loud and one all the way off. So that is how the PA system works. There's a little more to get into, but this is the basics. Okay, we're gonna discuss another audio input for the PA system. This is the wireless microphone setup. It all is in this box. It connects to the PA's, to the mixing board PA. And let's just get into it. So it basically looks like a little briefcase, has a little handle. It's gone through some wear and tear. Hopefully somebody does a little maintenance with some duct tape on it. But you're gonna open this up. And I've written basically like a little information chart here so you know what you're looking at when you're looking at the case. So here's the instructions. I'm going to try and save you some time and just show you how to do it. Remove the foam cover, and you're going to have two microphones here, and that obviously is the microphone. You have two antennas over in that slot, and they look like this, and these antennas hook up to this. This is the receiver, the wireless mic receiver. The wireless mic receiver, we'll get into that in a second, but it needs power input. So the power input is in this guy. So you're going to need power for the mixing board, and if you use the wireless mics, which you don't have to, but I would recommend, you're also going to need power for this guy. So you're going to need at least two plugs to use the PA system with the wireless mic. Inside this bag, you have this kind of plug. I'm going to plug that into my surge protector here. Gonna look at the back of this thing. Gonna look at the back of the receiver. Attach this plug here. So now this thing has power. We're gonna use these antennas and plug them into the receiver. They both go into these things. It's pretty simple. You just screw them on like this. I'll just do one for the presentation, but you would do them both. And then it goes like that. So this picks up the wireless mic's radio intent sender. Then you have the wireless microphone, which is here. You're gonna unscrew this, open it up like that, and there's batteries in here. You're going to have to put batteries in the microphone. I take them out every time because I don't want them to corrode in the microphone. So I take them out after every meeting. Once that's in there, plug that in, and you can turn on the microphone with this button here. Hold it for about a second and a half, 2 seconds, it turns dark green. Now, you have everything should be good except this microphone is connected to this receiver. This receiver has power. This is picking up this microphone, but this is not plugged into this. That's the last thing you have to do. Inside this box, there's one little, excuse me, I have the wrong one. It has this very tiny speaker cable here. I think it's about 2 feet, 3 feet long. And it goes into the front here. And then this goes into, that's really loud, that there. So now the receiver is connected to the mixing board. And if we turn this up, hello. That's how the wireless microphone is connected. So you put power to the receiver, you put the antenna into the receiver, you put the speaker cable into the receiver, and then connect it to the PA. And then you put batteries in the microphone, and you're good to go. Turn on microphone on. There's 2 buttons here, or there's 1 button, excuse me. But you can, if you hold it for 2 seconds, it turns on. If you tap it, once it's on, it has the green light. If you just tap it, that mutes it, so you're on mute. Tap it again, you're back on. If you want to turn it off, hold it for 2 seconds. Hold it for 2 seconds and it's off, and that's how you use the wireless microphone. Okay, another way to put audio into the mixing board here is through Bluetooth. It's pretty easy. There's just a button here for the Bluetooth signal. You just press it for a second or two, it turns blue. Now it's presenting a Bluetooth signal. Go to your cell phone, if that's what you want to set it up, what you want to send music out of, or a different audio. You look through your Bluetooth connections, and this is giving a signal called EON208P. That's the name of the unit, and that's what it's connecting to. Pushing it now, and it's connected for audio, and you can play whatever you want to through the speakers, through the Bluetooth. You can even have, since you have multiple channels, you can even do a sing-along. That's it. And that's how you do it. Okay, one other way to, so if you have like a laptop with a presentation, somebody's trying to give a presentation from their computer, another input is with the auxiliary cord. So you have your laptop, you have the presentation with the audio going, it's plugged in here, you take the other end, and it has to go into channel 7 and 8. There's a little input for auxiliary over here, and you're going to turn the volume up here and make sure the master volume's on. Once that's on, you can
land anymore. You need to get the land.
Turn the presentation, the audio on, and that's pretty much it.
Never would have happened.
Get that done, and somebody can present audio presentation to the group, and that's it. Okay, lastly, and unrelated to the audio equipment is the projector. I'm loaning my personal projector to the Civic Association for now. I'm hoping that we will buy one in the near future, but I imagine the setup for different speakers is pretty similar. So we're just going to go through the setup of a projector. You have the power plug. That's got to go on. Plug that in to my surge protector here. Plug it into the side of my projector. So now I have power. I'm going to plug my HDMI cable into the projector as well. Gonna plug it into the laptop. And then we're gonna turn the projector on right here. Hopefully.
There it is.
Okay, and then I'm gonna turn the light off so you can see in the background behind me. And if we hit play, there's audio is coming out of the projector, which you could hook up to the PA system. But that's how you get that to work. You can make it in focus, out of focus. Pretty simple. Just a power plug and the HDMI plug. And that's it. All right, thanks.